This is Lion Direct and our tribute to Black History Month.
With this being Black History Month, I'm always asked who has inspired me. And that's a difficult question for me because I don't have just one person. I have been inspired and encouraged by a lot of different activities, by a lot of different people. I've been inspired and encouraged by Rosa Parks, by Martin Luther King, by Gandhi, by people I work with every day, by students. I have some students on this campus and that I've worked with throughout my life who make me feel like it's important enough to stand up for the wrongs, or make it important enough to stand up to say this is what we should be doing. I very much want everyone to understand that Black History Month, although we celebrate it in February, it's our entire history. It's everyone put together. It's all of us saying we are going to be better than we were yesterday and better than we were or can imagine us to be. So I don't have one person that is just famous who is just the one person that I've managed to follow in my life. But I will say that my parents have been very instrumental in incorporating everything. My father is very instrumental in making sure that whatever I do is in the best interest of everyone, not necessarily for a selfish focus. And I think that really is what Black History Month means to me, is that it's everything. It's all of us together, moving forward and trying to be global citizens. So hopefully that makes sense, but I appreciate the opportunity to share my point of view.
An African American that inspired me, when I think about it, I love basketball all my life. So when I thought about it, Michael Jordan was the African American that inspired me. I'll never forget just watching how he played. I'll go right outside and try to do the same thing he did. I always study him. He had a great work ethic, and I try to implement that same work ethic. So he inspired me in the game of basketball. And also in life, he is very professional, dressed well, act very professional, very competitive. In my life, I try to dress professionally, very competitive in everything I do. I try to do it to the best of my ability. So that's the African American who inspired me, Michael Jordan.
An African American that inspires me would most definitely have to be Miss Dillard. Her passion, her dedication, her work ethic are all qualities that I feel a lot of young people could look up to. When I grow up, I want to have that same dedication, passion, work ethic as she does. I mean, you can go in her office and yes, she may be moving 1,000,000 miles per hour, but it's with purpose, and it's something that I look up to and I want when I grow up and I'm in my career. A famous African American that I look up to would have to be Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, yes, I know a lot of people have probably said his name, but why wouldn't they? He stood up for what he believed in, and he was faced with a lot of situations, and I feel like he handled those situations perfectly. All the things throughout the civil rights movement, and I mean, KKK members coming after him. It's a touchy subject, but when you think about all the things he had to go through, he handled it with persistence, and he handled those situations like I would want to handle everyday situations. I mean, he thought everything through, and he stood up for what he believed in. There's nothing else to say. Every day when I wake up, or if I'm faced with a situation, I want to think, what would Martin Luther King do? And how would he handle this situation? Because he handled everything he went through, which was 100 times worse, with ease. Not saying it was easy, but he handled it and he got through it. And he's a breakout African American in African American history.
I think the person that has really inspired me most recently, because I've had an opportunity to really have some great examples and leaders in my family as well as in my church. But most recently, my mentor was Franklin Thomas, who was one of the longest survivors with a kidney transplant. So he had a kidney transplant in his 20s, and he survived with a kidney transplant for more than 30 years. And he was a businessman in Dallas, and he was very much so politically involved in the community in Dallas, and has won numerous awards. And I had an opportunity to work for him, and he was the one who encouraged me to return to school when I was 30. He and I were talking. I was probably about 30, and he said, you know, Vanita, you really, you know, I said, I'm thinking about going back to school. And he said, well, you know, why are you just thinking about it? I've been telling you for years you need to go ahead and go back and finish. And I said, well, you know, what am I going to look like in a classroom, 35 years old? And he said, well, you know what? Would you rather be 35 with a degree or 35 without one? And so I said, you know what? You have a point. I'd rather be 35 with one. So I went on and went back and finished. And unfortunately, he passed away right before I graduated. So that was the only thing that I thought was sad. But we were still able to talk and communicate while I was in school. And I also have always felt inspired by, of course, I think Oprah. She has just been such a positive influence on the world and changing people's lives and the way that they view themselves and the way that they view the world. And she's also given people so many great opportunities that she is definitely a person that's famous who I feel inspires all of us to be better and to be more authentic, as she says. So those are two people that, you know, have most recently been very inspiring to me.
Next up, Lion directs student-written and student-produced music video, Rise Up.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Broken is the mirror. I'm tired of looking at my past. Today is the day that you'll write my name in history. I'm finally gonna live for me. Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, why can't we be just like them? Rise up, come on my people, just rise up. We need to come together and rise up, follow your dreams. Rise up, come on my people, just rise up. We need to come together and rise up, follow your dreams. Broken the chains of depression, oppression. Even though we've came this far, we must remember where we started from. Being young, being good down. We had to suffer a lot of pain. So much blood was shed for us. Like Rosa Parks, Betty Friedan. Why can't we be just like them? Yeah. Rise up, come on my people, just rise up. We need to come together and rise up, follow your dreams. Rise up, come on my people, just rise up. We need to come together and rise up, follow your dreams. Rise up, rise up, rise up, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Rise up, rise up, oh, you gotta follow your dreams.